I film everything. I stand behind my camera, capturing every moment that seems like it would have the slightest bit of significance. And I'd like to think it's because of how much I admire the art form. But in reality, I know that it's because I'm afraid to lose those memories. I'm afraid to wake up one day and to learn that I've forgotten some of my happiest memories. I'm afraid to not remember my best friend of sophomore year wearing the holy sweater that hangs alone in my closet. I'm afraid to not know what it was like for the long midnight drives with my friends screaming loudly the most popular song of 2005. I'm afraid to lose the moments that I hold most dear, that I'd like to think are saved on my camera. But when I go back and watch these videos, I can still experience every single emotion from that moment. And while I'm grateful for the memory, I can't help but mourn the loss of old friends and dusty sweaters. It's a bittersweet experience, to say the least. And I get to thinking about how much can change in such a short amount of time. I can go from being on top of the world watching the sunrise in the company of my closest friends and blinking and realizing that I don't talk to half of those people anymore. And do you know how heartbreaking that is? Being exposed to this rude awakening and the most intense feeling of nostalgia and regret. It's one of the hardest lessons that I have ever been forced to learn. And I don't think I will ever be able to pass that test. But that's life, right? And it is. That's what life is all about. These are the things that everyone is gonna have to learn at some point in their life. Especially people like me. People who are afraid to live in the present. Right here, right now. But over the past few months, I've been learning a bigger lesson. And one that I think is much more hopeful. These memories from our past, watching the sunset from the side of an old bridge, or the really sketchy but really freaking awesome music store that might have just held your first mosh pit, your friend getting their license, the impromptu camping trip that didn't make it much farther than your backyard. These are the moments that have the honor of shaping your future. And while we may miss these memories, praying to God that we get to relive them once more, we wouldn't be who we are today without them. And we can't be afraid to live just because of the chance of loss. We can't lock ourselves away. We have to open our hearts to be crushed again and again and again, just to say we lived in the first place. Life isn't a participation grade. It is something that we can get an infinite amount of bonus points on. But I will always stay behind my camera, capturing the moments that teach me how to live. Late night chats about nothing and everything. Pillow forts and snowball fights, stargazing and warm hugs. These moments are not my ending. They're my beginning.